welcome to the Dream Fearless podcast. I am your host, Karen Oliver. As you know, that I'm still celebrating. Well, all of us made Dream Fearless podcast what it is today, so all of us are still celebrating. One of my former guests was not able to make it tonight, so I'm going to actually show the season two episode because we want to go back and listen to some of the episodes. And so we're going to do that after I interview my new guest, Nisa, with Miracle Moments. She was able to come on and share her brand with us. And I also reiterate you all that this week I was not only sharing former guests that has been on the show, but I'm also accepting new guests that has a brand, that has a story behind what they're doing. So Nisa was able to come on the Dream for this podcast and share with us. And after talking to her, we're also going to be able to share this clip too with my second podcast, Labor and Love podcast, because her story pretty much goes with Labor and Love podcast as well. So introducing you all and others, Miss Nisa with Miracle Moments. Hi, Nisa. Thank you so much for coming on and just being a blessing tonight.
Yes, thank you so much, Karen, for having me on. I'm super excited. It's crazy because I have this goal of doing so many podcasts a year. So I haven't I've done a few, but I was just thinking earlier today, I was like, I got to get back into the swing of things. And so when I saw your post, I was like, you know what? This is a God given opportunity. So I'm like, you know what? Why not just, see if it's available? So that's when I sent you the message. I was like, okay, let's try this.
Yes, I'm so glad. Look, it's God divine timing because one of my sisters that we're definitely going to be praying for, Tyrese. She was actually supposed to come on, and we were gonna share her moments from 4 years ago and what she's doing now. And she had a family emergency, so we'll definitely be. She had death in the family, so we'll definitely be praying for her. So she was like, I'm praying that someone could come in my place, who could come in my place. And look, God answered, and He heard
Yeah.
what you were saying, Nisa. So it just worked out. I'm just so glad that you can come on. And so first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about your background.
Okay, so my name is Nisa Shepherd. I am from Carter County, the like 2.5 hours from Raleigh. I am from North Carolina. I am a North Carolina notary. I love to spend time with my family, work, grow my business, Miracle Moments, because it is a passion of mine and it's the skills that God has given me. So
Yeah.
that's just a little bit about me. I am number six of six children.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm the youngest, so I have a lot of nieces and nephews that are my world. So that's a little bit about myself.
Awesome, awesome. So you're from around the way. So you're right in my neck of the woods. You're in North
I
Carolina, so you're not too
am
far from me in Greensboro. That's awesome. That's awesome. Small
correct.
world, small world.
Yes, ma'am.
I love the brand name Miracle Moments LLC. Tell us a little bit about Miracle Moments. How did you come up with that name?
So the way I came up with my name because I originally was spelling it the regular way, miracle, like you spell miracle.
Hmm.
So I was talking to one of my co-founders, and I was like, I want it to be something different but catchy, like eye-catching. So we were talking, and I was like, well, what about Mirakul? I was like, okay, so I like that. And it's different.
It's different.
So
Yeah.
that's so when I officially registered for my business license, that's what I started under Miracle Moments. And I started in 2024. January 15th is when I applied, and January 17th is when I got approved for my business license and became an official business in North Carolina.
Awesome, awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Mm.
So, what is the story behind Miracle Moments?
So the story behind Miracle Moments is when I experienced my first miracle at birth with my esophagus and my stomach not connected. So I was born in Morehead City, and then when I was born, the doctors noticed that there was something going on with my esophagus, that my esophagus and my stomach was not connected.
Mhm.
So the doctor at the time, Dr. Knelson, he consulted with another doctor in Duke that specialized in children's care, and they sent me 2.5 hours away to that particular hospital to get the care that I needed so they could reconnect my stomach and my esophagus. And so while being there, they discovered something was going on with my heart. So I had to undergo heart valve surgeries. And this is all me by myself. My parents were not there. So it was just me and the Lord. I was transported by myself. And because at the time my mom just had me and she had to stay here. And like I said, I'm number six of five other siblings. So it wasn't just me. It was other people that had to be considered and taken care of, while I also had to be taken care of away from home. And
Right.
so that I was like, I want a business that embodies who I am. And Miracle Moments is just that, because from the beginning of my life was a miracle.
Yes, 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 it was. I love that you said from the beginning, and that's right. It's like from the beginning, your life was already a miracle. Was already a miracle. You was already a miracle, in the making. Just having to, what I'm saying, go through that as a young age, and knowing God and relying on God and knowing that God, was going to make a way, out of no way. So, miracle moments is like attached. It's like attached to your birth.
Hmm.
How everything got started up until now. What were some of the things that you had to endure as you got older? How long were you in the hospital, and what age?
Yeah, so I was in the hospital a newborn from like a month to a month and a half. So I was born in January and I didn't come home till like about midway February.
Hmm.
And I'm actually working on a book about my life. So what I've done is gather the records from the different hospitals that I was able to that had my records, and
Hmm.
I am working on transcribing the the writings now. And I've been working on this for a while, but I've been working on it in pieces, because I'm like, it can be overwhelming gathering all the informations. That was the first phase, and now the phase now is actually just going through, sitting down and reading the doctor's notes and what was said and what was what, because I didn't have a name for 5 days of my life. The first
Wow.
5 days of my life, I was known as Baby Shepherd. I didn't have a name. So yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
That's what not ordinary, and it's very interesting, to
mhm,
know, and you just getting ready to write the story, or you already putting the pieces together because you've been
mhm,
working on it for a while. Oops, I'm sorry. So I'm definitely excited about the book that's coming. So many authors coming. So and people don't understand that, there's a story.
mhm,
A lot of people have a story, in itself, and some people just need to grasp hold of it and read it. You never know what people are going through, so that's a great thing that you're writing the story so the world can know, what you went through, because you never know. They may have went through something and haven't overcame it yet, but when they read your story and hear from
mhm.
you, they'll be like, okay, she went through this, and I'll be able to get through this. So it's exciting. So congrats on the upcoming book and everything.
Thank
And
you.
so, who do you basically work with, as far as miracle moments? Like, what is your mission, and who is your target audience?
My target audience would be small businesses, those that are just getting started. I like helping um, up and coming business people that are trying to find their way, because just like myself, I'm still learning in the process. being in business a year, I still don't have it all figured out. So it's a journey. So I enjoy working with those that are just getting started and just need that help, need that push to need that encouragement because you never know. Because self-doubt can come in very quickly.
Oh yeah,
Let's just be honest, and sometimes I personally do deal with that because I'm like, well, somebody else could probably do that better than me. But you know what? I'm learning that God has equipped me with these gifts to help others
right.
because not everybody can do it like me. And it's funny because in this I was at a service on Sunday and he talked about read the room. I think it was this Sunday, and it was like, how Joseph had the coat of many colors and how
Yes,
his brothers and I can't say it verbatim, but the point is like, you know, somebody can want your coat, but they can't have the favor that's on the coat.
that's right. That
So
part.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, people want what you have, they want to do what you can do, but only you are gifted to do the specific task that God has assigned you to do. They can
that's
imitate it, they can try to do it like you, but if it's not authentic, if it's not genuine, then it's not going to be done right.
that's right. That's right.
So, yeah, I can go. But yeah.
I love that. I love that piece, and that was the point of it all. Like, you can try to. It's like you can try to mimic or copy or do what somebody else do, but they don't have that favor and the anointing
Mhm.
over their life like you do. Like they can try to take something from you. It's just like the enemy. When the enemy tries to take whatever God gives us, it's like he
Mhm.
can't take it. He may try, like he may try to form weapons, or he may try to knock us down or try to make us feel like we're not anointed, called, or
Mhm.
purposeful. But we already know that God has us covered. We have a covenant with God that can't be
Yeah.
broken. So it's
That's
nothing that
it.
the enemy can take from us. And like you said, people will try to do that, like the example with Joseph, but they cannot have what God, I'm saying, has put on your life and your purpose. So that's great that you work with small business. It's just more of like helping small businesses and people who are just starting, saying, "Hey,
Mhm.
this is your niche. This is your identity that you need to follow." Because some people don't know. Some people do go through identity crisis when building a brand. And when you
Mhm.
first get
Yeah.
started, there is a lot of questions and there is a lot of mix up. Because I remember in my first 2 years, um, I was, learning the do's and the don'ts,
Mhm.
as far as like master classes, masterminds, just video, just streaming. We know
Mhm.
streaming is big, so just streaming and what streaming devices to use and what time to go on. I mean, and finding your target audience. So, like you said, it's a lot of things. Like first, is the information in the documents, right? Like the DUNS number and all that, the license, the registration, and all that.
Mhm.
And then it's like, now let me put these courses, classes, and stuff like together. But I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they do go through that brand crisis or their identity crisis. Like, why is this really my niche? Or
Yeah.
um, sometimes you have to understand that stuff is not going to happen overnight. Like, we'll put things together, and we're expecting for maybe hundreds to sign up, but sometimes we
Mhm.
won't even get that one. I remember the first
Yeah.
2 years, just sharing a little bit of this. The first 2 years, me putting together some things, and I'm like, so I put these things together 2 years, and nobody come. But we do have to understand as entrepreneurs and as business women, businessmen and business women, that we have to find the right target audience. Like everybody's not gonna be is not gonna fit in our brand. Everybody's
Yeah.
not gonna be ready for our brand. And we have to know that we have to have the courage and the confidence to know that we can't take on everybody either, because everybody's not
Mhm.
fit for it. And I think a lot of people who are coming up, they will find that, and it's good that you help them with that, because they'll need that accountability to
Yeah.
be able to keep going, to be able to stay consistent even when they don't see results.
Yeah. And that's very important because as you were talking, I was thinking like when my first year, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I can do this. I can do that. But now that I'm thinking about it too, I'm like, it's very important not to take on more than you can handle.
That's true.
Um, yeah. it's just like, it's okay. Like, for example, maybe like social media content. I enjoy doing social media content. But knowing my bandwidth of what I'm able to handle, because I do still have a full-time job for the
Right.
moment, for the moment. Um,
That's
so
right.
yeah, for the moment, because I'm believing God for some turnarounds and things, and
Yes.
where I'm able to do that full time, because that's what I enjoy, helping people. And even though my job now, I do help people and I enjoy that, but it's
Mhm.
nothing like doing your own business, working for yourself. And even though it's a task and it's a job, it'll be more, it means more. I guess you can say it like that, because it's your baby, and you can nurture it how you want to, and you can spend the time on doing it how you feel.
That's
So
right.
yeah. Yeah, it's just it's a learning journey for sure. Being an entrepreneur, starting a business, and on the journey you'll learn like what's for you and who's for you, who's not, who's your tribe, who's your community, and who's not your community. So I'm still, as I'm traveling this entrepreneur journey, I'm still learning who's my tribe, who's not my tribe, and it's just coming together. Like, I'm in this group called the Win Community, and
Mhm.
we had the founder of the community. She did this beta testing, and when I tell you, I gained so much clarity about my business than I
Wow.
ever had after taking that. It was the first part of the year. So like I was saying, starting out a business, it can be like all fuzzy and you're just trying to find your way, no
Right.
business plan, no nothing. But
That's true.
yeah, after being in this class for like a month, I say a month and a half, y'all, let me tell you, I gained so much clarity, like my niche, my target audience, how to post, when to post, how to
It's true.
leverage my time, not spend a lot of time doing something that I can pre-schedule, and
Yeah.
it was saving me a lot of time. So it's just amazing when you get connected, when God allows you to connect with the right people, things will
Yes.
start flowing. Just it start flowing perfectly, like really good.
And I'm glad that you said that. You're right, because you have to be connected to the right people. Because I know when you are building a community and you're scouting for your audience, or just say you're posting and you're putting your things back
Hmm.
there, anybody could comment or anybody can be in your inbox or schedule a consultation, right? But
Yeah.
it's not the person and I know we get excited, you get excited, you be like, okay, I've got a consultation call, I've got a discovery call, I just
Yeah.
got an inbox. But we don't know, sometimes that's not that person, it's not the right fit,
Hmm.
for our brain. And like you said, we have to find that out. But it's good for us to get on those discovery calls. It's good for us to meet with those prospects. Just to
Hmm.
we may even have to put them in another direction. But sometimes I know it can be a little bit alarming. Sometimes we're like, wow, I had about 4 or 5 calls this week, but I didn't land any of them. But like you
Hmm.
said, you have to know your audience, and they wasn't a good fit, what I'm saying, for
Yeah.
your brand. So it's like we have to stay consistent even throughout the process.
Oh my god. Yeah. Because sometimes I'm be honest, I'm like, Lord, I do not feel like showing up, but
Yeah,
it's a press. So it's like I have to, I have to show up for myself. Because if I don't show up for me, who will? So
exactly,
in the
exactly.
times I don't feel like showing up, I don't feel like posting, I don't feel like making a call, I don't feel like sending an email,
Right.
I do it anyways, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna send this email, because I know I need to do follow ups. I know I need to continue to show up for my business, because
Yes.
God has, like I said, God has graced me with these skills, and I just can't keep them or let them lay dormant. I
That's
have to
right.
use them. So yeah, it's in the showing up for me, because as long as I show up and do my part, I just allow God and trust Him that He will do the rest.
And that's right. Like you said, showing up consistently, and sometimes you gets tiresome, and sometimes you will get a little bit boggled down along the way, and you're like, okay, God, I'm going to show up anyhow. But it's like once you get there and once you show up, you're passionate and you're happy about what you do, about how you're
Mhm.
helping others, how you're pouring out, and you never know who's watching in the background. It may only be one person, or and then next thing you know, when we stop looking at the numbers, you never know. God just starts bringing them in, but He has to know that we love our brand, that we love
Mhm.
our purpose in business, and the gifts and talents that He given us. So He's like, okay, if I see them showing up, even when no one is there, I'm going to make sure that their audience, that the right people are going to be connected to them or whatever. And so that's a good thing, because sometimes, sometimes we do have to take a day of rest.
Mhm.
I usually do Wednesday wisdom, which was yesterday, and I was busy, and I was like, well, I didn't get to do Wednesday wisdom yesterday, but I was like, okay, sometimes we need to take a rest and rejuvenate.
Mhm.
And although you're still showing up, don't beat yourself up about,
Yep.
like, hey, I didn't show up this day. But there's always another day. You can be like, okay, hey, I was busy, I was doing something, so let me get back on it. And sometimes we just need that rest. Sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because I am guilty of that because I'm like, oh man, I'm supposed to post this day, this day, that day. And then I'm like, oh my, and as life normally does, life, and I forget
Mhm.
to post. So I'm like, okay, it's
Yeah,
okay. I'm just gonna start fresh the next day. And if I miss the next day, I'll let me put this together. As long as I make a post, I'm like, okay, I'm still showing up for myself, and that's
exactly.
good. So yeah,
Exactly.
it may not be what I intended to post, but as long as I'm posting and the people are seeing me post and are engaging,
Right.
that's all that matters. And then one thing too, as you were talking, what came to mind in one of my sessions when I was in the beta testing class is we had our one-on-one, and she said, you know, I don't hear you talking about your business a lot. I was like, oh. She was like, I see you showing up for other people, sharing their business, but I noticed you don't really talk about your business much. I was like, ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
you got a
Yeah.
point. So I'm making an effort now, as much as I support other people's businesses, I
Mhm.
I aim to do double time or triple time on my own business because
Yeah.
she had a point, and I was like, yeah, you're right. She was like, because as I go down your timeline, I see this, I see that, but I don't really see, much of yours. If I see it, is under somebody else's. So I'm like, you know what? She has a point. So I'm going to make it my mission to continue to post, and just have, even if I have to schedule it every hour on the hour, it's going to be seen. So yeah.
Yes, and that's definitely. I'm glad that you said that, because that's definitely important. Like you said, it's good to support, but then there's a
Hmm.
season where you have to support your brand. There's a season where you got to continue to show up for yourself, because it's like, hey, I wonder what he or she does, and I don't know what he or she does or whatnot. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I haven't been speaking enough about my business or
Hmm.
posting enough about my business, but I'm glad that she said that and reiterate that, because as much as you talk about your brand and show up and share the posts and share the videos of what you're doing and how you can help people, that is making your business effective, and that is saying, hey, I'm growing my business because I'm showing up. And I'm just gonna have to put a pause and be like, because you can support people too,
Hmm.
from afar. And sometimes we have to. I did a class on this. Sometimes we have to be comfortable with saying, I can't do it right now, or I can't come. We're just saying no. Maybe not
Hmm.
this time, but maybe later, because it could be something on your agenda that you need to do for your business. And we have to be comfortable with saying, hey, I can't do that,
Yeah,
but maybe we can revisit later, because I
I'm
have
learning
something on
that
the
too.
agenda.
I'm learning that too.
Hmm. Oh yeah, so that
Yeah.
means you might need to take my class now. Yes, I got a whole master class
Oh.
on that. But you know what? That's something I had to find out too when I was going to class and everything before I started my coaching business in 2020. That was one
Mhm.
of the classes I took in my coaching class, and we studied that, and then we got in groups, and I was like, Yeah. Do you see yourself doing? It's like you put yourself in the shoes, and you be like, oh, I see myself doing more of that, so I need to step back and just focus on me. You know.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
Because
that's
I
a
would
real thing
love to
though.
see more about miracle moments myself. Like I was definitely impressed with your website and your story and just the people you help. I love the fact that you're helping people who are, within is in the same vein where you once were, like starting a brand, not
Mm.
knowing all of the ins and roots and stuff like that, and them just finding, okay, what works for me and what works for my brand, because it may not work for everybody else, but I know it's going to help somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited. The book, that's coming about. That's
And
going to be exciting.
yep, and there is actually I'm co-authoring in a book that's out now. The physical book is not out yet, but the audio is on Amazon, and it's
Okay.
called Winning Women. Lord, I'm getting it wrong. Um, Winning Women Trials to Triumph.
Okay. You
It's
have to put that in the chat. So
yes, I'll have to put
okay.
that.
Oh, I
Um,
like
so yeah, it's I'm collaborating with I believe it's like 8 other ladies. It's
that.
from the
Awesome.
Wing community. So it released in March 28th. So the audio is out now, so you guys can go check that out. You can follow me and I can connect with you with that. And yeah, let me see. I'm trying to. The book, we're still working on that. We've been taking pre-orders. So this is my first book I've co-authored in. I use this as a stepping stone for helping me with my book
Yeah.
because I've never written a book. So I was like, okay, when they asked me, I was kind of like, I don't know. But then, you know what? I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And it's been a great journey for me because this is helping me to push me forward to do what I need to do with my book.
No, that's awesome. It also like gives you learning curves of, okay, this is what I need to do. These are the steps I need to take when getting my own book ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And you
awesome.
said put it in the chat. Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
you can put it in the it should be a
Okay.
private chat.
I got you.
Below, if you're able to access that, you can put it there for people to see. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So
That's
that's
awesome.
my
Okay.
my dot card where you can connect with me on social. Oh, and I'll put my website as well. Hold on.
Oh yeah. So people will definitely know how to find you. And I'm already a friend of yours on Facebook, right?
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I believe we are. I know we follow each other. I think that's how I found out about this.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
So that's awesome. I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna check out. You said it's the winning.
Winning Women to Triumph. I don't have the link right now, but I will post it on my social media and you can or I'll send it to you after this.
Okay, that sounds
Mhm.
great. And definitely, we would definitely love to talk with you, even back on my second podcast, Labor and Love. Just talking more about the journey that you
Yeah.
had to go through, and we can talk about scheduling that. And for those of you who do know me, you know that I started a second podcast called Labor and Love Mission. Um, but yeah, this week we're celebrating Dream Fearless podcast, and we're talking to brand owners, entrepreneurs. So nice. I'm just glad and honored that you came on just to share with us about miracle moments, and I'm glad that you even introduced that you were a co-author on this book,
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
you're coming out with one as well, so that's awesome. I definitely keep the information below, and yeah, we'll definitely have to connect on another episode,
For
but thank you so
sure.
much for stopping by. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience, encouraging words or advice that you would like to give to them?
Sure. Just remember that God loves you. You are not forgotten. God has great plans for your life. Continue to trust Him in all things. And, just continue to share the goodness of God with somebody because you never know how that could encourage them. We were just talking about this last night at church about how God does things for us, and sometimes we just keep it to ourselves, but it's not for just to keep it for ourselves, but it's to share with other people to let them know of the goodness of God. And just continue to share your story because you never know who could be impacted by what God is giving you or what He has already done in your life. And as I always like to say, every moment in life is your miracle moment.
I love that. I love it. Thank you so much, Nisa. Thank you so much for coming on your busy schedule. Thank you, everybody who will be tuning in to catch the replay, and thanks for the ones who jumped on. Again, thank you, Nisa, and we'll be sure to check out all of everything that you're doing, and we'll stay in touch. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye.